Okay, so continuing on, let's talk about management and operation. Now, generally speaking, an LLC can be managed in one of two ways. It can be managed through what we call member managed, and obviously that's done just the way it sounds. All members participate in management and decision are made by a majority vote. Okay? Manager managed, members designate a group of persons to manage the firm. Okay. Now keep in mind you also have a fiduciary duty whenever you talk about dealings and whatnot between members of the LLC. And fiduciary duty is the highest level of duty there is, and it includes the duty of loyalty and the duty of care. Now, I found this very interesting from the book. Some states say members only owe a fiduciary duty to the LLC and not the members. I would certainly advise you to make sure you uphold that fiduciary duty to the other members of the firm, or the LLC in this case. Operating agreement. Obviously, it's a good idea for the members to create an operating agreement. How are we going to run this thing on a day-to-day basis? Some of the things that could be included are management and how managers will be chosen and removed, how profits will be divided. Yeah, it's always a good idea to talk about money early on in any relationship. Home membership interest, or excuse me, how membership interest will be divided, whether departure of a member or death will cause dissolution. What about meetings? Do we need to have annual meetings, quarterly meetings, weekly meetings, etc.? And then how voting rights will be apportioned. And again, this sounds a lot like corporation stuff, but again, it's a good idea to have this type of agreement whenever you're dealing with other individuals. Again, get it all written down and laid out early on while everybody's still in love. Okay. Now, disassociation and dissolution. Disassociation occurs when a partner ceases to be associated in the carrying out of the partnership business. So here we are, we got He-Man and Skeletor, and they decide they don't want to be friends anymore. I know, shocking, right, fellas? But He-Man decides to leave. Okay, he's over there, he's gone. All we have is Skeletor. Now, what is going to happen to the LLC as a result of He-Man disassociating himself from it? Well, certainly when this happens, the member cannot participate in the management or the right to act as an agent of the LLC. His interest could get bought out. Skeletor could write him a check and say, hey, here's $1. Let me take your interest. Could be liable if action by member is against the law or against operating agreement. How about that? If He-Man breaks his fiduciary duty and just walks off or commits some crime, he could be liable. Dissolution. Members can agree to continue or opt to dissolve a business. All right. Pardon me, that's a good thing. Now, certainly when He-Man leaves, Skeletor could continue on business if he wanted to, but he needs to work all that stuff out with He-Man. Now, let's say they do decide to terminate the business. There needs to be a winding up period. Members must collect, liquidate, and distribute the LLC's assets. So, you finish off the work you're doing, pay off all the creditors, and then distribute whatever's left over to the various members. Limited liability partnerships. These are interesting. An LLP is a hybrid form designed mostly for professionals who normally do business as partners in a partnership. Again, like an LLC, it needs to be in compliance with state law, filed with Secretary of State. Liability allows professionals to avoid personal liability for malpractice of other partners. That's always a good thing, having that limited liability or not being liable for your other partners. Liability from state to state. If doing business in multiple states, you may be required to register in both states. That's going to be a product of state law. When in different state laws, which state law applies? Generally where it was first formed, but again, that's going to be a product of state law. Family limited partners. Partners are related to each other, mostly in agriculture. Now, can me and Bob, who's not related to me, go form a family limited liability partnership? No, we're not family members. Okay,